wish I was a punk rocker with flowers in my hair.
Sandi Thom, welcome to Jacaranda FM. This is an absolute honor. I was listening
Thank
to your
you.
song last night with my friends, actually, when I found out about this interview. And it's still such a banger of a song. And I feel like it's actually even more relevant in 2024 than it was when it was released.
Yes, totally. It totally is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it just talks about like all the things that you should, all the good things in life and all the sort of qualities of people, like good people with good hearts and you're talking about innocent times where things were simple and not complicated and love was important and talking and speaking your mind was important and doing the right thing was important. And yeah, in 2024 right now, that is something that the whole world I think is actually saying as a whole against all of the things that are going on, right now, all of the atrocities against mankind that are happening just now. The
Yeah.
world needs those types of songs, those protest songs.
Did you have a moment of running away, putting flowers in your hair, and just giving it all up and living the punk rock dream lifestyle? Did you do it?
Do you know the funniest thing is, and this is not a lie, okay? I moved to California, which is which is very much the rock star dream. And I moved into this little beach house. And I'm not joking, but my next door neighbor for about 2.5 years was the lead singer of the Sex Pistols, John Lydon. And
Oh,
that I swear on my dog's life, that is the truth. I lived next door to Johnny Rotten. So the gods of rock and roll aligned for me because I made this song that was so like, either would rub you up the wrong way or you'd love it because obviously if the metaphor didn't make sense, right, to some people. But then I ended up living next to one of the greatest punks that ever walked the earth. So I was just like looking up at the sky going, to the gods of rock and roll, thank you, really. This is such a sweet moment for me.
I feel like you manifested that. I feel like you are a lesson in
I feel like I
manifestation.
did. I must have. I absolutely must have
Put it
manifested
out
that.
there and it will come to you, right? Words are
Yeah,
magnets.
exactly.
That blows my
Definitely.
mind. I'm also
The
so
universe
jealous.
served me that one up.
Wow. Okay. You have
Mm.
lived a life, and I'm sure that there is so much more that like we're not even going to be able to get into. But that song changed your life, I'm sure.
Yeah,
From that, there
absolutely.
there was good, right? There's always going to be good, and everyone's always going to ask you about the good. I want to know about the struggles from having your life changed. What were some of the things that you really struggled with in that time?
Well, just to give you like a snapshot of my upbringing, I was born in a fishing village in the northeast of Scotland, where there's like, population like, 500 or something. So I was born into this very, very quaint, quiet, idyllic upbringing. But my soul always wanted to know what was beyond the horizon. I always had this desire this adventurous spirit, this like, maybe it's like being Celtic or something. I don't know. I just had this calling, like, what's out there? So I was always brave in that way. I left when I was 17, I went to performing arts school, I left home. I was always very brave young woman, but I was quite reserved and quiet. And even though I could sing and play and everything, I was never the one, I was never dancing on the tables. I went to performing arts school and it was like some people were like fame, like the drama was everywhere. But I was never like that. I was always very quiet. But they do always say, it's always the quiet ones. So, I just worked away very quietly and kept doing what I was doing and I loved I had such a passion for music and it developed and I worked really hard up until the point that it all kind of went, crazy and kicked off. They always say there's no such thing as an overnight success and there really isn't. But the moment that everything just blew up was really unpredictable and very, surreal. But I kind of rode the wave, I think, and just took it day by day. But it was completely bonkers. It was completely bonkers to go from struggling, living out of a shoebox to all of a sudden every single person all over the world wanted to know who you were, what your name was, and in where you lived. So, and that all really was because of the fact that I was a big part of the digital revolution with webcasting, which obviously now is part of our everyday life. So yeah, I got swept up in that movement and became like a poster child for it, and literally just went all over the world non-stop 24/7 for probably a whole year. I just literally never stopped doing interviews. It was crazy.
That's insane. I don't know if I could do that. The energy exchange at the very least, I think, must be incredibly draining.
Yeah, I mean, I was a lot younger then, I was in my early 20s, so I wasn't in any way as aware of myself, and like you talk about energy exchange, I wasn't aware of those things when I was in my early 20s. So it was probably incredibly draining for me, but something kept me going. I remember one day we did a gig at 7 o'clock in the morning for a breakfast show in Glasgow in Scotland. We flew to London, we did a midday lunchtime show, and then we flew to New York and did a gig that night. It was one day.
Oh my God.
And I just remember some days I was hanging on by a thread, but it was the adrenaline and everything just pumped, and it kept you going. So yeah, I mean, it was completely bonkers, but it was such an amazing experience. Honestly, I would never change it.
And now you're set to do it all again, I believe, personally. You have a new
Oh,
single,
yeah.
Revolution Anthem. And it dropped on our Human Rights Day as well. So I feel like, once again, you're just aligning all of the things, right?
Yeah, honestly, like that was not even that was just again, that was just like universal alignment. That wasn't even like a predicted thing. That was just absolutely, like you say, the stars aligning for us. And it's very apt, of course, because even though this song, a lot of it, some of it is referencing UK-centric European things, but really it's a global message. I don't know why there aren't like a huge surge of protest songs right now, because there's so much going on in the world to talk about and sing about. And I can only think that they're there, but they're not getting heard,
Yeah.
because the system is built to suppress those types of things and feed you whatever it is they want you to hear. So I'm always thinking, yeah, they're out there, but they're just not getting a chance. So I guess because I've already got something of a name and a voice, I absolutely feel called to use that to say something important with songwriting.
You were saying earlier that you have turned this into an NFT. Explain this to me.
Yeah, so I got introduced to the NFT marketplace and the metaverse in the last year, and I sort of procrastinated about it because it sounded scary, but it's really not that scary at all. So I release it as it stands for non-fungible token, right? And it's almost like a digital piece of art that you collect. It lives in perpetuity in the metaverse. So if you buy it and own it, then it also has a resale value. So it's not like I've gone and downloaded a song or I'm streaming it on Spotify. I actually own something that I could then, depending on its value, I could sell it and make money. So it's like owning an antique or something. And we sell 100 copies at $100. And I've got friends who sell NFTs, who are musicians, who literally before they started this were so struggling to do anything, and then they discovered this, and now they literally feed their families off of selling NFTs. And it's such a great community. It lives on the Discord, which was obviously, it's an app originally for gamers. But there's such a great community of people there, because all anybody ever does there is just high five each other and big each other up and buy each other's music. And it's a really lovely place, ironically, in this digital realm. it's sort of the most authentic thing that I've seen in a long time. You know, there's no hate speech. It's all just love. It's really great. So Revolution Anthem is 6 copies left. Okay, that's it. Never again will you see it. There's 6 of 100 left, and then it will sell out. So it's an amazing thing. As an indie artist, financially, it's such a great boost to your career. And it's just great to be, also to have control, because nobody controls you there. Nobody controls you creatively. Nobody tells you what to say, what to wear, what to do, you know, which I think also is, you know, kind of indicative of like what the state of humanity really, like, especially in the arts industry, there's so much creative control, you know. So this place is such a great place. You can do what you want, you can be who you want, you can sing what you want, and people support you. So if you are an indie artist and you know you're struggling, you absolutely have to find out about the NFT marketplace and how to mint and sell NFTs.
100%. I love that you are on Discord. I was on Discord last night drinking some wine with friends. And I agree with you. It is one of the best places on the internet, Discord. The community is so lovely. And all of the communities are so lovely. Sandi, thank you so much. Before I let you go, please would you send a shout out to your South African fans who are dying to hear this new single?
Oh, absolutely. Okay, hi, I'm Sandi Thom, and this is to all my South African fans. I promise you, I will be there. I will see you soon. This is Revolution Anthem just for you.
Awesome. Sandi, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
It was lovely to meet you, Mom. Thank you.
Jacaranda FM.